Welcome back. More cuts will likely be hitting the U.S. Postal Service, according to Postmaster General Louis DeJoy. And the reason is simple economics. The country's mail system lost $1.7 billion in just the previous 3 months. Losses more than doubled in the last quarter from the same period the year before, as the service tries to compete in a landscape where communications are now dominated by technology. Tom Schatz, the president of Citizens Against Government Waste, recently pointed out the agency's flaws in an opinion piece, saying, quote, "Now it is up to the USPS to take advantage of this new law and get its costs under control." Tom Schatz joins us now to discuss the agency's financial issues. Look, the U.S. Postal Service financial troubles have been a problem for decades. It's well documented. What do we need to know about it right now, and what needs to happen to address the issues?
The Postal Service made money 3 out of the first 6 years in 2000 to 2006. After 2007, the Postal Service has consistently lost money every single year. Cumulative losses total about $100 billion. And this year so far, despite the fact that they have this 10-year Delivering for America plan that is supposed to lead the way to breaking even and eventually making money, they've already lost about $4.8 billion.
Why is that? Why such big losses? Is it just because people are mailing letters more than because of the rise of online communication?
Well, that was certainly the beginning of this process, and the Government Accountability Office has had USPS on its high risk list since 2002, has called the business model unsustainable. Essentially, yes, they have more expenses than revenue, and like any other organization, they need to match it. They've blamed retirement costs, they've blamed inflation for this latest problem, but other companies seem to be doing fine. We need the mail to be delivered. Postal Service Reform Act codified 6-day delivery, mail and packages together, alleviated some of the pressures on retirement, but they didn't address labor costs, which is the highest cost of the Postal Service, or the need to close excess facilities, and those costs continue to rise.
So last year, Congress passed the Postal Service Reform Act in an attempt to get the agency back on track. Where is it falling short right now?
Well, it's falling short because it did not give the Postal Service enough authority to reduce the largest costs, which are, again, labor and closing excess facilities. I saw something in their April 2023 update on the Delivering for America report, plan, I should say, that said they are going to consolidate facilities but not eliminate any jobs. Everybody else, when they consolidate facilities, they eliminate jobs. It's the only way to reduce costs. They also, by the way, had 125,000 part-time workers converted to full-time workers, which means they now get retirement benefits. And long-term, that's a substantial cost for any organization.
Look into your crystal ball here. If the troubles with USPS aren't addressed long-term, like 10, 20 years down the road, what is this going to look like? What is mail delivery in this country going to look like?
Well, it's not the mail delivery as such, it's the taxpayers that are going to have to pay to sustain the post office. Right now, that hasn't happened, but the projected loss of $160 billion over the next 10 years that they're trying to alleviate or eliminate, if that does not occur, there probably will eventually be a direct infusion of taxpayer money to keep it going. You know, other countries have privatized the Postal Service. That is highly unlikely to happen in the United States. The Postal Service Reform Act was intended to help move the organization in the right direction. The Postmaster General, I think, is trying, but it's a very, very large agency, and it's difficult to get expenses under control. Most post offices don't make money. Any other organization would close those non-performing or underperforming facilities, but they don't even really do that. Every member of Congress says, keep my post office open. That's part of the problem.
That's baked into Americana, though. That's probably why. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We do appreciate it.